Your kid comes home from school, maybe he's being kind of a jerk, you won't listen, and you find yourself getting really ticked off. Emotions rise, things are said that shouldn't have been said. And at night, you find yourself in the pantry. Or maybe your toddler is being, well, a toddler, like mine can be. And you try to keep up with things all day and you look around, and at 3 p.m., your house is a total disaster and your kid barely slept, and you feel like you simultaneously did nothing all day and you got your butt kicked all day. So you put on a show for your kids so you can get a break, and you start stuffing yourself with chips and queso. Or maybe you're running in 12 directions at once and you can't imagine fitting in time to meal prep. So once again, it's 6 p.m. and you're tired and you don't understand how once again you end up in the drive-through line. And not only that, you are choosing that juicy chicken sandwich and fries because you just don't care right now. There's no space to care about your health. You're overwhelmed and you want to eat your feelings. If you can relate, let's talk today. Hey, welcome to the Kingdom Fit Moms podcast, where we believe that you can go on a journey to lose weight for the last time. I know you've tried all the things and you may not believe me yet, but when you do weight loss the Kingdom Fit Moms way, everything changes. You're in the right place if weight is constantly on your mind, you're confused about food, you're missing out on memories, and maybe even putting your dreams off for another day because this weight struggle is no joke. We're a community and we're on a mission to invite God into this weight loss journey so you can shed the burden and shine your light. I want you to start living and believing in the version of yourself that heaven sees. Let's get started. It's my birthday week. I have some fun news for you, so keep listening. But I'm wondering if this is you. Maybe you want to lose weight, you want to feel sexy again, you want to regain that confidence and have energy all afternoon, but the thought of doing all the work to get there, oh my gosh, feels daunting. And what sounds even worse is doing all of this work and then all of this effort and failing again and wasting all of that time, all of that energy, all of that money, only to end up where you started. No more wasting time, energy, and money, mama, because my course, Fit Moms Accelerator, it's going to teach you how to lose weight with simple, bite-sized steps that are sustainable and get the scale moving in the right direction quickly. I've had multiple students tell me that after dropping 5, 10, 20 pounds or more, that they never knew it could be this easy. So you log into your learning portal and literally every week I give you 1 or 2 bite-sized steps to implement so that by the time you're done with the accelerator, you have all the new foundations for health and you didn't even have to step foot in a gym or solely munch on carrots if you don't want to. I'm going to show you how hundreds of women have become set free from diet culture through simple and streamlined processes that allow you to not only see the scale drop, but also, more importantly, learn how to let God heal you from why the struggle exists in the first place. So come into Fit Moms Accelerator so I can show you how to get to your goal weight faster than you thought possible so you can stop hiding and start living out the amazing, unique God-given call on your life and freedom. And today through Friday, you can join Fit Moms Accelerator and use code LEAPYEAR to save $100. Yes, I am a leap year baby and I have a real birthday this year, so I want you to celebrate with me by coming into Fit Moms Accelerator. Use code LEAPYEAR at the checkout. So you'll go to kelseywickenhauser.com/join, type in code LEAPYEAR to save $100 through Friday. Welcome to Kingdom Fit Moms. I'm your host, Kelsey Wickenhauser, Christian health coach and lifestyle medicine physician assistant. And today we're talking about 4 steps for overwhelmed moms to stop emotionally eating. So we're going to go through how you can conquer this very common challenge of emotional eating in 4 simple steps. So go grab your pen and paper and write these down because some of them are going to take some reflection and some going back and journaling and figuring out, okay, how do I conquer each of these steps? So number 1 It's time for a reality check. So write down reality check, and I want you to be honest with me and with yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. First of all, how would I rate my intimacy with the Lord? So when we think about emotional eating, we need to sometimes stop and pause and think about, why are my emotions running rampant, and why do I not maybe have a grip on them, and why am I letting my emotions lead me down this path? So I want us to start with our relationship with God, and am I operating out of a place of me and my desires and my wishes, or am I truly aligned with His plan for my life? Am I overwhelmed because I'm putting expectations on myself that He never did? I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I'm going down this path of striving, and I have to stop and realize that this isn't something that God asked me to do in the first place. Am I creating a to-do list that I was never supposed to start? Am I focusing on the wrong things? And I can't tell you this. I can't give you a how to how to do the things that the Lord wants you to do, except to say that you have to spend time with Him. You have to be still and abide. Have I lost sight of my kingdom vision and purpose? Am I wrapped up in the world's way of doing things? Why do I feel so overwhelmed? We have to get to the bottom of that, and maybe, again, have this reality check before we can move forward. You may need to stop this podcast right now and just rewind and sit with these questions, because oftentimes we create our overwhelm without even knowing it. We may be chasing things that don't matter. We may be saying yes to too many things because somebody told us we're supposed to. We may be missing the thing that we need the most. Sometimes we can keep doing exactly what we are currently doing. However, sometimes we can do all those things without overwhelm because our hearts are in tune with the Spirit, and then our perspective changes. I'm going to say that again. Maybe you need simply to spend more time with the Lord, and He can change your heart regarding the things that are going on, and you can do the things you're doing without feeling overwhelmed because you are in tune with the Spirit and our perspective changes. So I will finish my point by asking you a few more questions. Are you in the Word? And where is your truth coming from? Are you with people who remind you of who you are, who you truly are, not who they want you to be or who the world says you are? Are you worshiping? Are you corporately worshiping, not from your home, not from, watching church online and not being with people? Okay, are you truly worshiping with people around you who know you and who can lift you up and pray with you? Because worship is a weapon, right? It's such a powerful weapon. And are you being still with the Spirit just to listen? If you're in a phase of life like me with little kids, that can be hard. But overall, my point is, I want you to spend time on this reality check, and maybe this is the first step and the only step you'll need to eliminate the overwhelm, is to spend time with your Creator. Okay, number 2, let's move on. When we're talking about eliminating and overcoming overwhelm to stop emotionally eating, the next thing we need to do is learn to recognize thought errors. Sometimes overwhelm is related to faulty thoughts or thought errors. We call them in our Fit Moms communities. Do you realize that not every thought that enters your brain is the truth? The Bible talks, I don't know how many times, a lot of times, about taking our thoughts captive and focusing our mind on things from above. For example, the example I gave at the beginning of this podcast with an overwhelming toddler, right? And you get to the end of the day and your house is a mess and you feel like you've been in a war. You start thinking about how you're not cut out to be a mom and you're not good at anything and you can't even keep the house clean. Can you relate to those thoughts? You start spiraling in a wave of negative thoughts, and what do those thoughts do? They create a set of emotions that are negative and feeling out of control and overwhelmed. But do you see how those feelings of overwhelm began? With your thoughts, and you can take your thoughts captive. This is a huge part of what we teach you inside of our Fit Moms communities. Inside of Fit Moms Accelerator, I teach you how to identify these thoughts, how to change them, how to replace them with the truth. And we also talk a lot about where these negative thoughts come from in the first place. With my more advanced students inside of Fit Moms Academy, that's where I coach them one-on-one to dive into healing to an even greater degree. We dive into the roots at a greater level and figure out, again, why am I thinking the way that I'm thinking? This is just such a huge part of what we do inside of Fit Moms, and I cannot emphasize this enough. You oftentimes need an outside perspective to call out these thought errors. If you're spiraling into crummy thoughts, you need somebody to point them out and help you out of them and speak truth over your life. This piece alone, recognizing and healing from and redefining these thought errors, is one of the primary reasons that my clients are thriving in breaking out of the bondage of excess weight. And I love doing this. I love, love, love. I love calling out with love and truth, calling out the BS that they're telling themselves. My clients, they can learn to recognize the excuses that they're living in and calling them to higher ways of thinking, being present with themselves and their families, and living in purpose. If you know you need to do that, then you got to go join us inside of Fit Moms Accelerator, because it's not going to likely happen on your own, mama. And we have a step-by-step process of helping you to recognize thought errors and fix them. Okay, the next step, number 3, to help overwhelm moms to stop emotionally eating. So far we have talked about a reality check of where is my relationship with the Lord, and where are my thoughts, where are my thought errors, and do I have a way to recognize my stinky thinking, okay? Number 3, don't set yourself up to fail, okay? What are your patterns for emotional eating? If it's always on Thursday night right after basketball practice, then you need to sit down and you need to make a plan to be well fed and remove the temptations from those moments. You need to have a meal plan. You need to have emergency snacks in your purse or in your car or at work or wherever those places are that you tend to emotionally eat. And you got to get the crap out of the house, right? I love learning about blue zones. If you're not familiar, blue zones are areas of the world where there's a high population of people who live to be 100. And so they went out and studied, why are they living so long? And why are they living to be 100 and not ending up in nursing homes? And so they study, how they eat and how they move and how they live in community. And so I refer to this a lot as, how do we create a blue zone in our home? Maybe it's setting fruit out on your counter. Maybe it's, again, eliminating the things that keep you from making the healthy choice, the easy choice. And to speak to, again, this idea of don't set yourself up to fail, don't go into these situations hungry where you oftentimes emotionally eat because your body is like, where's my food? I want to eat. Your emotions are high and you're just setting yourself up to fail. You don't suck. You're not bad at this, but you're just putting yourself in a really tough situation. And then, of course, another really practical thing is to make sure that you are well hydrated. Drink more water. When you're thirsty, you oftentimes think you're hungry. And again, this can just spiral into a tough situation. The last thing I'll say, number 4, to help overwhelmed moms stop emotionally eating. And again, this is hard, and it goes back to the first 2 points of abiding and knowing who you are in the Lord, and also recognizing thought errors. The number 4 thing you've got to do is to create boundaries. If you really, really want to break free from emotional eating, you've got to take a season to actually dive in and create boundaries and work on this, because it's not just going to happen. If you keep living your life, you keep doing all the things you're doing right now, and you try to conquer emotional eating, it's not going to happen. Boundaries with time, like the time it takes to take care of the heart issue, right? It's hard work to do this inner work to really heal from the weight struggle. But the people that I work with, the women that I work with, they're committed to taking a season of their life to figuring it out. And the benefit is for the rest of their life, they know, and you can't unlearn this stuff. But you have to create boundaries of time so that you are able to do that work, right? So sometimes you need to create a boundary with time to work with a coach, whether it's me or somebody else. We've got to figure out how to not only heal internally, but how to make shifts in your environment and how you're eating and moving. And it may even take some boundary of time to work with a counselor for that emotional weariness that you are feeling. Sometimes I have clients that have to go through my program and also work with somebody who's really skilled in prayer counseling and inner healing so that they can figure out and truly break off the stronghold that is keeping them stuck in a negative pattern. You may need a boundary with time so that you can meal plan. This is very simple, but if you are not meal planning and cooking, then it's going to be very, very hard unless you have the money to hire a chef to make all your food. It's going to be really hard to lose weight if you don't have food available. You may need boundaries with time with your kids. Your kids do not have to be in everything. They're not going to dread what their childhood became because you don't let them play on the basketball team for a season, okay? What do you need to say no to? You need to have boundaries with people and a reality check with your friends and who you're hanging out with. You know, who is draining you in this season? You can't get rid of your kids, but if somebody else is triggering you that you can say no to for a season, do it. Figure out how to heal from those emotional triggers and remove the triggers for a season until you can go into that situation whole and healed so that it doesn't lead you on this spiral of emotional eating. And then again, come inside Fit Moms Accelerator and start diving into the healing from why that weight struggle exists, and it will largely uncover some of those main root lies that started growing even from childhood that led to struggling with weight. And as you do that, you're going to have a community of women to process with who are on your team. So if you have to remove, if there are some difficult people in your life that you need to set some boundaries with for a season, you will have a new community of people to lift you up and to speak life over you in truth so that you can go back into the world feeling confident and knowing who you are and knowing how to have a battle plan to approach all these different situations. And once you open the can and start recognizing the why, then we can start working together to help you to heal even more. And again, we have systems for how to invite the Spirit in and how to recognize and repent for where we have sinned in the process and forgive who needs forgiven. And maybe that forgiveness even starts with yourself. And then you get to start that renewing process. And this, my friend, everything that I have mentioned today, this is kingdom-minded weight loss. This is how to invite God into those deep places of your heart and recognize that you are not an emotional eater. You may struggle with emotional eating, but that's not who you are. And there are ways to break free, but you can't just, grit your teeth and clench your fists and say, I'm going to stop, because that's not going to work. So to summarize the 4 steps for overwhelmed moms to stop emotional eating: number 1, reality check. How is my relationship with the Lord? And am I spending time with Him to get clear on who I am and hear it from the source, right? Number 2, recognize those thought errors. Number 3, do not set yourself up to fail. And number 4, create boundaries. Lastly, come hop into the Kingdom Fit Moms Facebook group and tell us where you stand with these things. And then tell us if you're ready to stop using being overwhelmed as a reason to emotionally eat. I think you are. I think you're ready if you're listening to this podcast. And if you're really, really ready to break this stronghold, go sign up inside of Fit Moms Accelerator. We have payment plans. You can get started for under $100 today. Use coupon code LEAPYEAR at kelseywickenhauser.com/join. You'll enter the coupon code at checkout, and I will see you there. Hey Fit Mom, if this episode blessed you today and you can think of somebody else who's struggling in her weight loss journey, would you consider sharing this week's episode with her to give her a sense of hope? And then while you're at it, hop on over to our free Facebook community, Kingdom Fit Moms, for daily encouragement and support. Let's go shed the weight to shine the light.